Very excited to talk to our next guest. All right, this man I think has gotten the Canes fan very, very excited. Joining alongside Mario Cristobal, coming down from Oregon. He is now down here in Miami. He was talking this week on Twitter about lighting the fuse, getting the off-season workout program going, and we're very excited to be joined on a Flex Friday by Aaron Feld, strength and conditioning coach for the Miami Hurricanes. Coach, how you doing this morning?
What up?
Oh, man, you're already getting me fired up this morning, Coach. Already getting me fired up.
Great, man. Thanks for having me on, bro.
Hey, it's great to have you, man. And you definitely have you felt that, Coach Feld? Have you felt the Canes fan be very, very excited about your like? You obviously you have an awesome persona going on social media. You definitely get everybody engaged with energy and things like that. Have you felt the energy from the Canes fan back?
Oh, absolutely, man. Me and my right hand man, Coach Jeff Eaton, man. We're having, our families aren't in town right now, so we're having dinner every night talking about the future, talking about building the program, everything like that. We can't go anywhere in the Gables, can't go anywhere in South Miami. We can't go anywhere around here without, getting stopped, people talking to us, excited that we're being here. So it's definitely great to be back in football country.
Yeah, it's great to have you here. So what has been your first impressions of the city, man? Like, you can't have a farther move from Oregon all the way down to here in Coral Gables. So what has it been like? What have been your first impressions of the city?
Man, Miami's awesome, bro. Like, I mean, I'm from Birmingham, Alabama, so I'm from the South. It's not a huge city, but I didn't come from a small town, so it's not as huge of a culture shock for me. Now, it is a huge culture shock from where we were to here, but I'm kind of transitioning back towards what I'm used to, weather that I'm used to. Now, obviously, Miami is its own little world down here. From a humidity. I mean, it's January, dude, and we're wearing short sleeves, and everybody was cold. Everybody was cold down here last week when it got down into the 60s, and I thought that was funny because I've gotten used to 45 weather constantly. So, but yeah, man, it's great to be back, and my body and my subconscious, man, we feel at home right now. So.
We're talking to Aaron Feld, strength and conditioning coach for the Miami Hurricanes football program, joined up with Mario Cristobal down here now. My co-host, Leroy Horde, he was a longtime Michigan running back. He was explaining to me just the mentality of strength and conditioning coach. He was explaining his strength and conditioning coach for the Wolverines back in the day, telling him stories about Nam, just that intensity that he brings. What is it about that mentality, Coach Feld? Like, you have to come in, no matter your mood, you have to get people fired up every single morning. Like, what is that like, having to tap into that every single day, getting these kids fired up for maybe a morning they don't feel like working out. Maybe you got to get them in the mood to start pumping weights and getting their body right.
Yeah, I tell these guys all the time, I'm going to be the most annoyingly consistent person you've ever met. At 5 a.m., 5 p.m., 10 a.m., 10 p.m., doesn't matter. And part of it's because you can't have an expectation of these guys that you're not willing to meet yourself. So we did mindset training 2 nights ago, and I kind of laid out the foundation for like how we're going to think, high performance thinking and that sort of thing. And one of the things I tell them is that I wake up every morning, I look myself in the mirror and I say, "You're going to have a great day," and then I snap my fingers and I point at the mirror and say, "Yeah." And of course they think it's hilarious, and I challenge them to do it. And I tell them, I do the same thing. My wife, I leave for work at 5:30 in the morning. I wake her up and I kind of, nudge her shoulder and say, "Hey, you're going to have a great day." And she's always like, "Leave me alone," and I'm shake her again. I'm like, hey, are you going to have a great day? And she's like, "Yes." I'm like, no, come on. I need you to tell me. And I'm like, "Are you going to have a great day?" And she's like, "Yeah." And, it's crazy that when you start your day, I know it's a dangerous game I'm playing, but I promise you, more often than not, when you try to have a bad day after you wake up and tell yourself you're going to have a great day, when you tell yourself you're going to have a great day, it tends to steer you in the right direction.
I got to tell you, there's 2 coaches that I've always feared in football. It's the strength and conditioning coach and the get back coach, and the special teams coach, because those 3 guys have a level of intensity that I think a lot of players don't even play with. And just think of all the levels of football, the one that's hated the most is strength and conditioning. So every day, these guys got to motivate you to do something that you have no desire of doing. And
let me stop you right there, okay? The strength and conditioning coach should never be feared. And that is facts. I'm a get back coach on game day, and a lot of strength coaches hate that. But whatever it takes, whatever I can do to help the team, Coach Cristobal's job is not to pay attention to where his feet are staring at the sideline. That's my job. His job is to watch the game. He has eye discipline just like I do, just like the players do. But when it comes to strength and conditioning, these kids should not fear me. We are servants. Servant leadership is one of the most important aspects of team sports. And so I tell people all the time, my job is not to make these guys do things that they do not want to do. My job is to help encourage them, teach them, educate them, and inspire them to want to do those things that they didn't previously want to do. This is not the dungeon. This is not the punishment center. We don't do physical punishment for like you're late to meetings, you're late to class. Like, we don't physically punish these guys. That's a thing of the past, man. They're physical, elite level physical beings. They can run all day. They can lift all day. So like, we don't use our modes of training, the ways that we get better at football, as forms of punishment. And honestly, we don't do a whole lot of punishment at all. It's more about bringing guys in and getting to the root of the problem. Instead of treating the symptoms, we try to treat the actual problem. So if guys fear me, it's because they don't know me. If guys fear the weight room, it's because of things that they're doing outside of the weight room that makes the weight room harder than it should be. And now it's not easy. I tell these guys all the time, it's going to be the hardest thing you've ever done in your life. But it's not because I'm going to make it that way. It's because you're going to make it that way. I asked every single guy on the team to raise their hand as high as they could if they wanted to be successful. And every single guy on the team raised their hand. Now, nobody stood up, right? And so I had to give them say, look, I believe you when you say you want to be successful, but nobody stood up. So when you say you want to be successful, I say raise your hand as high as you can, and you say, yes, I believe you, but my job is to tell you that you don't always know exactly what that requires. And you might not always know exactly what as high as you can means, all right? But that's my job, is to show you that and give you the blueprint and show you what the DNA of success and championship culture looks like. So if these guys fear me, we have a huge problem, because I'm not going to be able to inspire them and show them the right way to do things.
Man, I'm getting the goosies, Leroy. This is getting me fired up for football season. I am pumped up. Coach Feld, can you what is your the relationship with Mario Cristobal? What are Canes fans getting? I know a lot of Canes fans are excited about the homecoming. We've heard from his former teammates; they're so happy to have him here. But from a guy, you work from him day to day. What is it? What are the Canes fans getting in Coach Cristobal?
Methodical. All right, this man. He works more hours than of anybody I've ever seen, and it's not guarding a desk. I put in more. If I work more hours than you, I beat you. He knows what the requirements of the job are. Our families, his family's all on board for what it takes to have success at the highest level. The dude works constantly, even when he's taking a physical break, he's still recruiting. He's still so you want asking someone to put everything they have into a program is exactly what he's going to do. And that's why his expectations are so high of the people around him. He's not a robot, though. There's a strong human element to him that truly understands people, and the same mechanism in your mind that allows you to have empathy for those that are less fortunate than you, and those who are struggling, empathize with them and see how you can help them. Whatever that same mechanism is how you empathize with your opponent and the guy lined up across from you, so that you can identify his weaknesses and absolutely destroy them. And then it's a savage way to look at it, but it's the same mechanism in your mind, in your heart, to empathize with the people around you. And if you fully and truly understand people, you can love and respect them. But if they're your opponent, you can absolutely destroy them. And it's a very valuable tool in your arsenal when it comes to competing at the highest level. We saw when we first were starting to see you on social media, Coach Feld, this fill the sleeves challenge. Can you explain this? You're doing this thing. People do 100 buys, 100 tries, fill the sleeves. And this is for a good cause. Like, what does this bring? Where did you come up with this this So the 45-day challenge, it used to just be the training camp challenge, where like when I played football at Mississippi State, and I was a long snapper. So once I realized that I wasn't going to end up playing offense or defense, I embraced special teams life, and so we would do buys and tries every single day at camp, trying to get ready for national television, first game, whatever. That's what we did throughout college, and then once I started coaching, obviously our break right before training camp it's always about 45 days out. Is about midway through the first week, or the week we have off before training camp starts. 45 days from the first game, and so we started doing 45 days, and then. Long story short, I ended up getting challenged to a bench press competition by a guy at a school out west, and obviously I destroyed him. And Coach Battles, if you're listening, man, love you, bro. Sorry I had to destroy you. But so somebody got involved and was like, hey, I'll whoever wins, I'll donate, to Special Olympics in their name. And, I ended up matching it and all sorts of stuff. And so we had a great special needs program at the high school I grew up at and the community I grew up in. And so it kind of opened up a door for us to be involved with Special Olympics. And so we started doing the 45-day challenge, the Phil Sleeve Challenge for all 100% of the proceeds going to benefit Special Olympics in the state of Oregon. And so over the last 4 years, we've been able to collect and donate over $50,000 to support their summer programs and their athletic programs for Special Olympics in the state of Oregon. It's been super beneficial for them, and built a great relationship with them. Hopefully something that we can continue doing and maybe get involved with Special Olympics down here in Florida as well.
That's badass, Coach. That's really good work that you're doing there. I know you got to get out here and you got to go get these kids pumped up and trained up. But if you engage me in one silly sauce question before we get you out of here, that wonderful mustache, where's the brainchild? Like the wonderful mustache, how long have you had this thing? What goes into the care of that thing? Because it is glorious.
So I started growing this mustache as basically we had a bunch of D linemen at one of the last places I coached, and they had that pencil thin right across the top of the lip. And I'm like, that's not a mustache, bro. They're like, yeah, look at my mustache. Like, that's not a mustache. But I was like, look, I'm gonna show you what a mustache is. So we went home for May. We were gone for May, and the last week of April I stopped shaving, and then I was gonna grow it out just to talk trash to my lineman. It was horrible, man. It was awful. But my wife and I go to New York for our first anniversary, and when I tell you, no less than 30 people over the week of that trip stopped me to tell me how awesome my mustache was. And every time it happened, I could just see my wife getting she was like, my wife, Brittany, is an unbelievable human being, but she hates this mustache. All right. Wow. And so I tell people all the time, it's a triple threat. My wife hates it. Strangers give me compliments, and my wife hates that too. So at the end of the day, so many people complimented this thing, and it just kind of grew on me, and here we sit 5 years later.
Man, that is awesome. Well, it is wonderful. Listen, you're a trooper for doing it if the missus hates it. I mean, that's good on you.
People always ask me, how do you grow a mustache like that? I was like, first of all, you have to absolutely have no care whatsoever what the people around you think, and two, you got to be willing to put up with extreme shade from your wife.
Man, that's tremendous. Coach Feld, thank you so much for the time. We are excited to have you down here in Miami. And listen, go get juicy. We're excited, right here on a Flex Friday. Thank you, Coach. Appreciate the time.
Hey, what day is it?
It's Flex Friday! Come on, Coach!
Flex Friday!
Oh, man. Thanks, Coach. Appreciate the time.
I appreciate you guys.
Oh, man. Leroy, that was everything I was hoping for.